welcome back to the Boneyard Podcast, everybody. This is your host, Jared Shafit, along with my two very good friends, Chance, Artie. How we doing, my friends? Y'all hanging in there?
That's our last night. I don't know.
Tired. Probably not as tired as you, but tired.
Hey, I mean, it's tiring, but it's a good tiring. But yeah, back after 2 weeks on the shelf.
Yep.
We put the podcast away for a little bit. Took a little bit of an early summer break here. I mean, hey, it's a beautiful day out right now.
It is gorgeous.
I mean, weather's perfect. It's full. Like, honestly, this is one of the best times of year. I always say that, like, right before it gets summer, when it's not too hot, but it's not cold at all, really. And then, like, in the fall, like, before it gets too cold, like that late October, that's the best time of year. Those are the two best times of year. Would y'all agree?
I would absolutely agree with that. Yeah, once you get to July and August are just kind of miserable with the heat, especially down here in North Carolina. And then, September is kind of but October is definitely a good month for the weather. Those first couple weeks in November is really nice, and then it just gets super cold. So,
yeah, I mean, I love it. But yeah, we're back. We're back. And if you're listening to the Boneyard Podcast right now, you could be watching us. Do yourself a favor. Go to our YouTube page, subscribe at Boneyard Podcast, and do yourself a favor. You get to see my goofy faces when Artie talks. I mean, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, Artie, you're great at what you do. Go to our YouTube page and give us a subscribe. That's hard. Subscribe. Yeah, I mean, you're going to love it. The Boneyard Podcast is brought to you by the Variety Sports Network. Proud to be part of that. Also, if you haven't noticed, I've been doing some hockey podcasts. Haven't done some in a couple of weeks, but those are rolling right along. I don't even know if there's an actual name. I think it's just the Variety Sports Network Hockey Podcast. So check it out. Go to their page. You can listen to me talk about the Canes on there.
I just want to say I did plug you at work, Jared. I actually have a few coworkers that listen to our podcast, and they remember you mentioning about the hockey podcast. So they asked, because they're diehard Hurricanes fans. So they asked where they can find it. And I said VSN, Variety Sports Network. So
yep, that's it. We're listening soon. We're planning another one sometime soon. It's me and a couple of guys just talking puck, and yeah, I mean it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I love talking ECU, but every once in a while getting out and branching out into other sports is a lot of fun too. So check out that. There's an NFL podcast. We even have an XFL podcast. A lot going on in the XFL right now. So go check out Variety Sports Network. A lot of different teams. I think we're up to like 50 podcasts on the network. Go check it out. I mean, there's one for pretty much everything that you could be looking for. So go check it out. MLB, everything. Variety Sports Network, Variety Sports Collegiate Network. Yeah. So that's that. Number 47, episode 147.
Yeah.
Guys. Y'all got a number for me?
I got one. I got a 47. And this is actually someone that's kind of, I guess, has maybe a more famous post career than he did during his career, even though he had a great career. But that's John Lynch, safety, played from 1993 to 2007. Played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 9-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro, was a Super Bowl champion. He's got a bunch of different stats. Did not know that he was actually a 9-time Pro Bowler and a 2-time Pro. I didn't know he was that good. But obviously, a lot of people know John Lynch as a general manager of the San Francisco 49ers. He's done a phenomenal job as the GM of the Niners. So that's why I say maybe has had a better post career doing that than a NFL career, but he was a stellar safety in the league. So that's my 47 for the week.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's a good one. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought about going that route, but I went. All right, I know we say like, okay, we're not going to do somebody that's like chalk, right? But I went chalk this week. When you have a guy that, I mean, is an absolute legend for one of your favorite teams that wears the number 47, one of the most random ass numbers out there, you go with him. You just do. I'll go with a Hall of Famer, baseball Hall of Famer, 2-time Cy Young Award winner, part of the Big Three, 10-time All-Star, 1995 World Series champ, 4-time Silver Slugger as a pitcher, and World Series MVP in 1995. None other than Tom Glavine, the lefty. Over 300 wins, 80 WAR. Got to go, Tom Glavine.
Like it.
Chance, any 47?
No, I didn't even honestly forgot all about it this week.
All good. We've taken a couple weeks off, so yeah. ECU baseball. Look, last night was frustrating. It was if you're just a fan of college baseball, last night was an absolute banger of a game.
Mm-hmm.
It was an absolute great game. That is two of the top teams in the country going at it on a Tuesday night in one of the best atmospheres in the country for baseball. And it was a knockdown, drag-out, 10-round matchup of just two heavyweights going at it. Who's going to throw the final punch? Unfortunately for our boys, it didn't go the way we wanted it to. Campbell beat East Carolina, got the season sweep, beat them last night 14-13. Campbell's a good team. We've known this. Campbell is a very good team. It would have been nice to get last night's win, though. It would have been I think if you win last night, you're almost, I don't want to say guaranteed, but I think you're almost guaranteed to host a regional. You lose that game, I don't know if you're hosting a regional now. Your RPI drops. I think we're down to 22 last time I checked. That was early this morning, so I don't know if it had been updated. But, yeah, tough loss against a very formidable opponent. Campbell might end up hosting. They're going to end up hosting. Wherever they host, I don't know, but I think they're going to get it. They deserve a 1 seed in a region. Chance?
I could talk all day about that game, but I've seen a lot of positives that I haven't seen over the last couple of weeks. Our bats last night were probably the best I've seen in a long time. Moreland, his draft stock's going through the roof. I was hoping, jealous that he wasn't going to go this high draft stock, but the guy's on the tear right now. From over the weekend in Memphis, balls landing on the practice field, and he'd done it again last night. They were trying to pitch around him, and they just couldn't.
He damn near put that one on Charles, going deep to Charles.
Yeah, it went over the scoreboard, cleared.
I don't know if I've ever seen one hit that far.
That was a long shot.
That was a moonshot. That one landed next to the American flag on the moon, even though there's not one. The moon landing was fake.
Here we go.
But yeah, it was a tough game. Campbell is good at what they do. They hit the ball. They tear the cover off the ball. They've got solid pitching, and they don't give you an easy out. There's no easy outs in that lineup. And what they do, and it frustrated, Cliff Godwin got all over the umpire late in the game when Ginn was pitching. The guy's literally standing on the plate. He's standing on the plate. I don't know if he could get any closer without being out of the batter's box.
And that's why we lead the country in hit by pitch.
Yeah, and they have for the last 2 or 3 years.
I give him credit. Justin Hare's done have you say his name, done a great job over there. If Campbell doesn't give him his money now, he's going to get big time offers at the end of this year. Dude, I thought Cliff Godwin, you know how we love Cliff Godwin, Justin Hare over there to them is the same way. He's building really something special over there in Bowie's Creek.
Yeah, and hate to see it come to an end the way it did. I mean, you think for the seniors, their last home game, regular season home game.
It's not their last home game.
You don't think so? Okay. We'll get to that in a little bit, but I mean, their last regular season home game, you want to go off on top. And I honestly, when Hoove came up with runners on second and third with 2 outs in the ninth, I was like, oh, this is like Cinderella ending, right? This is storybook right here, putting a stamp on a great career. And I was like, oh, this is going to be it. And then he got up underneath of it a little bit and flew out. But I mean, they had their chance. They had their chance to win the ball game, even after everything that they went through last night. Fought hard. Look, it's a loss in the win-loss column, but you can't say that this team doesn't have fight. You can't say that this team doesn't have fight. I think they do, and we'll see them next week in the tournament. So that'll be good. They play South Florida this weekend, or is it UCF?
So we get to
South Florida.
South Florida. Yep, we get to stay in Florida over the weekend. Mm-hmm. Gives us, it takes that stress off having to travel. So I mean, the guys are going to be well rested. I think tomorrow is more like the bullpen day. I think the way that team battled, I know that one hurts. And as a former player, after a game like that, you want nothing but to beat the hell out of the next guy you see. And South Florida, I feel bad for them. They got it coming.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely leaves a sour taste in your mouth. I mean, and the ECU was hot. That's the thing that we've seen this year with ECU is they've lost. They'll go on a run where they win 6, 7, 8 games. They had a 9-game winning streak at one point, but then they lose 3 or 4 or 3 out of 4, and it all comes back down to where we were before. It's like you take 1 step forward and 2 steps back at times, and that's been kind of the season. And that just happens. You lost a lot of guys last year, but ECU sitting at 15th right now in the country. They're going to need a great showing this weekend, and then they're going to need some help up top, and then they'll have to win the tournament for a chance to host. So we'll see what happens. We'll definitely preview the tournament next week. Artie, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say, if we cross paths with Campbell again, you think they're our biggest kryptonite in the postseason? Or you think it might be somebody else?
I don't think we're going to see Campbell in the postseason unless we see him in Omaha.
Or Super.
Yeah.
His only shot.
I don't see how we'll see them in a Super either, because I have a feeling they'll probably – if let's say they host, they're probably going to be –
They'll be a 15 seed.
They'll be – I was thinking 14, 15 seed. Then, I mean, if ECU's hosting, they're probably the 16 seed. Now that I'm not
honestly, I would rather not host and be a 2 seed in a 10,
the
12,
Duke regional
somewhere in there. Duke's not gonna host either. They got to go play. Who they got? Miami this week. The winner of that series might host. I mean, that's probably a really good matchup to go watch. We need the RPI points from there. So, I mean, I don't see us playing Campbell in the postseason unless it's in Omaha. I mean, I don't see our regionals matching up at all. I don't see it working out that way. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind. Best case scenario, if we don't host a regional, best case scenario is Duke host a regional. We play there. Win that regional. They're the 16. Duke can't host.
I guess, yeah. They can host at DBAB.
They can't host. No, Bulls are playing that weekend. Bulls are home.
Damn. Look at Chance
if
coming
they get
with
the 1
facts.
seed.
Right.
Yep. I've been hoping that we get their regional, but honestly, I think the NCAA is going to give us one. We make too much money for them not to give us one.
That's fair. And to be honest, I know this is probably terrible to say, but if we get if we get the 16 seed. Matching up with Wake Forest, they're a fantastic baseball team. But ECU travels. I mean, and they're right in my backyard.
Show up at home.
They're right in my backyard.
None of these sports.
Artie and I could do a live podcast from Ernie Shorefield. I don't know what they call it now. We'll do a live podcast from the gates.
Hey, we really could. That's a 20-minute drive for me.
Yeah, it's 5 minutes from me. I live 5 minutes from where Wake Forest was.
If the Super Regional is in a 3-hour drive, I'm going. Don't matter where it's at.
So, I mean,
got to get to Nebraska.
So, I mean, that would be perfect for me. Perfect. Love that. But yeah, I mean, not going to hold my breath. We'll see what happens. All that I can say now, though, do your job, win the ball games, and then let the cards fall as they may. That's all you can do right now. Win what's in front of you, and then let the rest happen. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, oh well. Win the ball games. Try to make it to Omaha. Not every road is going to be a paved road. You got to make it, right? You got to figure it out. It's been a bumpy road all year for East Carolina, and it's going to probably be a bumpy road through the postseason, but good teams figure it out. Great teams figure it out. Championship teams figure it out. So ECU baseball, they need to figure it out because it's about damn time for the purple and gold to make it up to Omaha, Nebraska. And that's all I got to say on that. So if y'all have anything else, we can move along. If not, so let's talk a little bit about the draft. The draft was what, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, it feels like 2 months ago now. This one.
Yeah. Considering the last podcast we did, I think it was our last. Yeah, I mean, Bryce Young, first overall pick to Carolina. Dude looks like he's he looks like he's a middle schooler that won a Make-A-Wish competition.
Stop, Jared. Stop.
Hey, when he torches the Falcons 300 yards, I don't want to hear it.
He can throw his ass off, though. You hear me? That boy can play quarterback.
I'm just saying.
Make a wish.
Better than Desmond Ritter already.
Make a wish on these defenses. I can tell you that. That boy can play QB.
I'm not doubting that he's better than Desmond Ritter. I'm not saying that he is. I'm just saying that the pictures don't lie.
Yeah.
The
video Artie taking his first snap, you couldn't even see him.
Artie at 5'4" looks taller than he does it sometimes.
You get both of those. And I hope you feel both of these. All right.
A small boy.
Hey, look, no,
man, I missed y'all.
I'm 5'9". I think he's what, 5'8", 5'7"?
I think he's 5. Yeah, he's like right there.
He's in the Kyle Manning territory.
Yeah, that honestly might be Kyle Manning out there throwing around the football. So take it back to our B side.
As long as he's throwing touchdowns, he can be 5'1" or 6'10". I don't care. Tired of seeing Sam Darnold play quarterback.
Hey, look, and to his credit, he did play against SEC defenses, which is the best college defense you play to get you prepped for the NFL. So I think he'll be okay.
Yeah. Outside, I mean, all these picks were pretty much chalk. I think looking at it, maybe the only one that wasn't the Paris Johnson pickup in Arizona. That was kind of off the board. And I think
it makes sense.
I thought Chicago was going to get Paris Johnson. So,
and what I'll say is, out of all the picks, the one that I have to make sure that I get right every year, and I usually don't, is my Falcons. I got it right this year. Wasn't too crazy about the pick at first. I mean, but our running back room's going to be.
Carter was sitting there.
Yeah. That's who I wanted. My heart
was so
wanted
happy.
it. My mind wanted it.
Well, Jared, here's the thing though. You got to figure out what you have in Desmond Ritter. Like you have to figure that out right now. Like you got to know what you have in him, and so you have to be able to build something around him to say, okay, can he play? if we put some pieces around him, or is he just a bust? You got to figure out what you got in Desmond Ritter.
Who knows? I mean, I think they'll give him a year, but what sucks is you don't have much help behind him. I mean, you have Taylor Heineke. Maybe he can continue what.
Yeah, Taylor
he was doing
Heineke back
year.
there, baby. What are you talking about?
Dude, Taylor Heineke is a phenomenal backup.
Taylor Heineke back there.
That's a great backup to have.
But
that's a really good.
I'm saying if you're gonna draft another quarterback next year, I mean, then you're going into next year knowing that okay, Desmond Ritter's probably not our long-term quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor Heineke's, I mean, he's not gonna. We don't want him as our starter.
Right.
I mean, you got to figure it out, and so I would have liked. I mean, in a year that we know that, hey, it's probably not our year, probably not a year we're going to even try to make the playoffs. I mean, the NFC South is going to be
the South is wide open. It's wide open. Nobody in the South is a favorite. Nobody.
I don't care what nobody says about the Saints. Derek Carr is mid.
I like Derek Carr.
I like Derek. I don't understand why Derek Carr gets a bad rap.
When he's a good guy, but like he's a top 10 quarterback in the league. When he actually shows up and balls out, he's top 10.
But when he doesn't show up, then he's
a bottom feeder. Yeah.
You know, I mean, he had Devontae Adams last year, and Raiders won very good.
Because he lost Zay Jones last year.
Facts.
Can't say it's not true. Can't say it's not true.
Got a point.
Yeah, Bijan Robinson goes to the Falcons. Jalen Carter falls to the Eagles. Why are there? Did Izzy do this shit? Izzy, did you create this?
The Eagles had a phenomenal draft, though. They had
Izzy. I'm bringing you in.
Yeah.
Izzy, did you do this? You're on.
Sorry, did I predict it?
No, did you make these notes? Because the only one on here that has exclamation points next to it is Jalen Carter. Did you do this?
Yeah, I did. Most definitely did.
Izzy, come on. Okay. Hey, your squad got better.
Yeah, we did.
The Eagles.
They didn't even need it. They're too good.
The Eagles are, I don't know. Pisses me off how good the Eagles are and how much better they got.
And they gave Hurts the bag too. So like the Eagles about to be good for a while. They're gonna be good for a while.
We're here in the next 3 years, we're gonna see an NFC championship game between the Chicago Bears and the Philadelphia Eagles, and it's gonna be insane. It's gonna happen.
Fields?
Be better.
Yeah.
Finish the top 5 MVP this year. I'm calling it right now. He's finished the top 5.
I hope so. I like Fields. He's a good guy.
Izzy putting her own twist on things.
I had to add the exclamation point.
Okay, Izzy. Hey, maybe just don't get in a car with him.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, come on. It's too early.
Hey, he wasn't the one that. Just saying.
Jared, you've been on the podcast for 2 weeks, and you out here just taking shots at people, just direct shots.
All right, John Morant.
Actually, John Morant's coming up later in this podcast.
Ooh, that's a good one. Artie, it looks like you lost game 1 of the Western Conference Finals last night. How you feeling?
It's okay. Hey, look, Jokic is that dude. All right, Jokic is for real. That's all.
I don't even watch basketball.
The Lakers will bounce back. They'll be all right.
Hey,
Nuggets in 5.
Nuggets in 5.
Yeah,
honest
I don't like
opinion.
LeBron James.
Honestly,
so Nuggets in 5.
I think Nuggets in 6. So I'm being realistic. I think it's gonna be Nuggets in 6.
Another reason you should subscribe to the Boneyard Podcast on YouTube is you need to get on here and look at how closely Artie resembles LeBron James with the way his beard. Like, Artie, give us the profile. Like, give us the profile.
What's that? What's the little side glance? Okay.
Does he not? Like,
he does.
It's more the glasses.
Look, it's been a long time coming with this too, because you remember Patches O'Houlihan, Jared, back in college. It was patchy. So it's been a long time coming.
Good stuff. Izzy, congrats to you and your Eagles.
Thank you.
Philly doesn't deserve anything nice, though. They don't.
Oh, that's messed up.
After everything,
Yeah.
yes, we do.
How many championships
After everything.
they lost the last year? They've lost so many professional
That's
championships.
what I'm saying. That's why we need something.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now. Philly doesn't deserve anything nice. Neither does Washington. Neither does New York.
Hater.
That's all that is. He just hate.
Hey, my teams win. Hey,
Not the football
Philly's
team.
I was about to say, not your football team or your basketball team. Your Braves win. You got that. Your Braves.
I don't have a
Your
basketball
Barely
team.
more.
team, they want to.
Bullpen sucks.
Well, Izzy, thank you for adding some lightness to the podcast. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right. Anything else on the NFL draft? We can talk about the guys that didn't get drafted from ECU.
Yeah.
First and foremost, Keaton Mitchell. All 32 NFL teams can walk the damn plank because you can't tell me that Keaton Mitchell shouldn't have been drafted. What? Because of his size?
Kind of. He's small, man.
It's
Like,
it's,
I
it's
think
a
he-
solid team, Greg.
You know who else is
That
small?
and-
It's a solid
Small.
You know, Bryce Young. Okay, well,
Bryce
blah,
Young.
blah,
team.
blah.
That's fair. That is fair. That is fair.
Yep.
But Keaton,
Yeah, good
I'll be
point,
honest,
good point.
Keaton did shock me. Him not getting drafted, absolutely. I'm not shocked about anybody else not getting drafted, to be truthfully honest. But Keaton shocked me.
Yes, I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
CJ Johnson was not ready to be a. He shouldn't have went. Told everybody this. Shouldn't have went.
We say
Maybe
this every year when guys inevitably draft and they a year early and they shouldn't have. Look, we're boys with a bunch of these guys. Tyler Snead, Blake Prohl. Every year for the last 3 years now, we've had a wide receiver declare a year early and go. And it
See,
just sucks.
but-
It sucks to see that
But
because
Tyler Snead, though,
go ahead.
I felt like he'd done everything he could. Tyler Snead, I feel like he'd done everything he could to prove he was a good wide receiver. But CJ, man, he has the NFL body. Like, he puts up one more good season, being the wide receiver one, not having to share it with
The
Winstead.
dude.
And you got to look at it. I mean, if he's back this year, he's easily wide receiver one.
Yeah,
I
without
mean,
doubt.
we're looking at the wide receiver ones still being bounced around our program right now. But and a guy like
Jalen
Keaton,
Johnson.
I feel like he done. I think it's Jalen too, but people think the new guys coming in is going to do it. But Keaton, I feel like he done all he could too. I mean, maybe develop as a pass catcher, but in Donnie's system, we really don't. The running back ever don't really flow out, So I feel like he done all he could in our system to be NFL ready.
Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing more Keaton could have done to proven that he's NFL ready, right? I mean, I really do think it was a sizeism kind of issue that, okay, he's small, he doesn't have the prototypical NFL body. Somebody will take a chance on him, but it's going to be undrafted free agent kind of chance. We're not gonna draft a guy like Keaton. And then I think everybody else is really like the issue with the last couple of years is that people are chirping in these guys' ears like, you're ready, you're ready, you're ready. They're not ready. Right, like they should absolutely have come back and put in that extra season of real, like, okay, now I'm about to really put on for the scouts, put on for the NFL. Like, I think a lot of these guys, they have people in their camp, people in their ears saying, "Go get that bag," but they're not really ready.
Yeah, for sure. CJ Johnson and both they're getting their story together. I mean, high school, college. Now they're both undrafted to the Seattle Seahawks. Look, Holden's gonna be the third quarterback this year for the Seattle.
Holden's gaining a lot of attention.
Yeah,
over
he
there.
is. Yeah, he is.
A lot of
Pete
attention.
Carroll is very high on Holden Ahlers. Maybe if Pete Carroll had it on the 1 yard line and had Holden Ahlers, he'd just say, "Hey, Holden, you roll ball." But can't go back in time. But yeah, I mean, I like that they're there. I mean, I think both of them will end up on practice squad. Holden may sniff roster, but we'll have to see how that goes. Ryan Jones to the New York Giants. Noah Henderson, offensive lineman, to the Buffalo. And then probably one of the biggest steals in the undrafted free agent market, Isaiah Winstead, blew up on social media. Blew up. Everybody was retweeting him. I think it was, I may be wrong. I think like Adam Schefter even retweeted it and was like, this went viral and now he's got a deal. It's a great story. Friend of the podcast, Isaiah Winstead signs with the San Francisco 49ers as an undrafted free agent.
Yeah.
I mean, wish all these guys luck. They're all A1 in our book. I mean, yeah. Any other thoughts on the undrafted free agents?
I'll just say this: they went to some solid organizations too, and that's what I'm most happy about. Is that the Seahawks, the Giants, the Bills, the Niners. These are solid organizations where they can go and get developed into a solid football player. So that's what I'm most happy about. They weren't going to some crapshoot, Cleveland,
like the Panthers,
or they weren't going to a team where the organization is kind of So.
Or the Bears. I mean, they could have went to
the Bears. Yes. Throw the Bears in there too, because that's a crapshoot of an organization. Yes.
I had to. We're all throwing shots. We might as well all be in the phone.
We might be turning it around, but we'll see.
But yeah, I mean, all in all, happy for these guys. Wish them nothing but the best. All right, moving on. ECU football. Those commits. Some commits have been coming in over the past couple weeks. Let's do this. Rance Connor, cornerback out of Louisville, comes in with 3 years of eligibility. Stats are kind of limited. Played 43 snaps last year. Also played 30 snaps on special teams. From Miami. I haven't seen much tape on this guy, but I think you lost quite a bit on defense last year. You bring in the guys from Carolina, and then you're also saying, okay, we need to plug in another cornerback. And that at times our secondary was, last year our secondary was probably the biggest question mark. You had a freshman from Temple throw for 500 yards on us. You gotta think that bringing in some of this quote unquote P5 talent may help us this year and for the next couple of years. Chance, Artie.
Oh yeah. No, I absolutely agree. I was gonna say. My bad.
No, you're good. And then Chance.
I thought we hit the portal well so far on that side of the ball. Got the kids from UNC, getting this guy. We're putting together, we're rebuilding, going right back at it. Big year for the conference.
Yeah, for sure. And then Chase Sowell, I think that's how you pronounce his name, transfer from Colorado. I don't have any notes on him. But look at his offers coming out of high school. Kind of interesting. Had a bunch of FCS offers. Sam Houston State, which, they're going to Conference USA now. Incarnate World. A lot of those schools, both those schools are down in Texas, where he's from. Had an offer from UTSA. And then got an offer from Colorado and went in. And I guess Coach Prime gets there and he decides to transfer. I don't know that. Prime brought his luggage. And
Colorado transfer is absolutely crazy.
It's either going to work out great and they're going to make movies about it, or it's going to be a disaster.
Right. There's not going to be an in-between.
I don't see any middle ground. It's either they're going to be like a top 25 team this year, like a possibly top 15 team this year, or they're going to be back at the bottom of the Pac-12 once again.
Just like they were last year. Yeah.
So, which I would say the bottom of the Pac-12, even the middle of the Pac-12, I would say is at times around the same place as
Terrible.
the middle to bottom of the American. So yeah, we'll see what happens with him. And then I'm going to do my plank a little early. ECU also transfer from UConn. That was your first mistake. UConn was all right last year. Keelan Marion. Look, this is a player-friendly podcast. We've had a lot of players on. We go and talk to these guys. When we say they're friends of the podcast, we're friends of the podcast. When we talk about, hey, we're excited for these guys going to the draft, even if it is a year early, we're not saying, oh, like, I wish they would be here because we want our team to win. We want them to succeed because we want them to follow their dreams. This guy comes in. He has a cup of coffee in Greenville, literally transferred in a week, committed for a week, and then decommits, opens his recruitment back up. Like, I get this is the problem with the NIL. I love the NIL for athletes. This is the problem. I mean, if this is like if Hoist the Colors was like, hey, Chance, we're going to offer you $2 to be on the podcast because we know the Boneyard Podcast can't afford to pay you. Chance is going to the Hoist the Colors. Shout out Stephen Iga, friend of the podcast. But yeah, I mean it's unfortunate. Well, best of luck to him, but it's not a good look. It's not a good look on him. I don't hold it against anybody at ECU, but it's not a good look on him. I mean, if you're going to commit somewhere and then decommit a week later, like somebody's giving you some bad advice. So it's Keelan, you can walk the damn plank, and then whoever's giving you your advice, you might want to fire them and just wait till next time when you're really sure. That's my 2 cents.
It kind of speaks to your real intentions, right? Like, what are your real intentions? Are you hit a ball? Are you here to be a baller, or are you just looking for somebody to sweeten the pot, sweeten the deal, right? Like, what are your real intentions? What are we doing here? So, yeah, not a good look on his part.
I mean, you can ball, you're gonna make money.
I think it was more of where Chase committed, and that wide receiver room got a lot better overnight. And I think he was scared of it.
I mean, the wide receiver room is at first it was bleak. I mean, Josiah's coming back. He dealt with an injury all year last year. Josiah, and he's gonna. I mean, when he's healthy, that dude is that dude gives secondaries nightmares with his speed.
You have to shade over.
And then Jalen Johnson. So, yeah, I mean, the top two spots in the wide receiver room are there. And then who's going to be the Isaiah Winstead that comes in and takes that third spot? I mean, Keelan, it could have been yours.
I think we see a whole different offensive scheme this year. Last year was back shoulder balls to the big guys. You know, Jalen was in the slot, kind of giving those quick routes. I think we're going to see a lot more play action, keeping it between the sticks, not as many long balls that's going to make Mason lose a lot of confidence. I think it's going to be a different team this year.
I like it. All right, let's Artie, you have anything else on the transfers or that walk the plank?
Nope.
All right, well, with that, we'll send it over to our sponsor, Row One Brands.
Let's be honest, you're here because you love sports. We love sports too. And our friends over at Row One Brand love sports as much as we do. Row One Brand sells sports wall art, sports gift watches, and vintage apparel with ornamental designs created from real game ticket stubs and vintage sports memorabilia in their collection. If you want some vintage Golden State Warriors memorabilia, they have that too. It's a sports collector's dream website for anything sports related. Go over to row1brand.com to check out their great inventory. And when you use the promo code VSP15, you'll get 15% off any item on the whole site. That's code VSP15 for 15% off any item on the site. So click on the link below and go check them out. Row Run Brand, America's best vintage sports art, sports gifts.
Thank you again to Row One Brands for being a proud sponsor of the Boneyard Podcast. Moving along, we got some Twitter questions.
Finally.
Got some Twitter questions. My former roommate, some of y'all didn't know this. Justin, King J, 1995, Justin Ith, New York Police Department. Will Mason start every game this season, or will we have a QB competition mid-season?
I don't see why he wouldn't.
It depends.
It's his team.
It's his team.
I mean,
he's earned every right to be the starter.
Yeah, he's earned every right. I don't see why he wouldn't. I don't really see any quarterback on the roster that good presently to take his position. I mean, unless he displays god awful, I don't see Mason losing that spot.
I could see Alex Flynn coming in here and there for a couple snaps. Like I just, if you take the job away from Mason Garcia, if he just is absolutely terrible and not as advertised, then he's going to transfer. And I mean, you don't start guys based on who's going to transfer and who's not. But if he's not the starter this season and next, then Mason Garcia is going to be playing somewhere else next season. That's just he'll find somewhere. He'll transfer out. He'll go somewhere else. And with his size, with his body, and his skill level, which we've seen it that he has it. He just hasn't been given an opportunity to do it consistently. I think Mason Garcia is the starter all year. I do think that what was it that we said a couple weeks ago? Artie, what was the line that you said? Roughness breeds what was it? Something about diamonds.
Pressure makes diamonds.
Pressure makes
There
diamonds.
you go.
Pressure makes diamonds.
I think this fall is going to be very good for Mason Garcia. Having that kind of little birdie in his ear saying, "Hey, like, is there a QB competition?" Alex Flynn's looking very good. I think it's going to be good. But I do think number second in the big house, Ann Arbor, Michigan, Mason Garcia is the guy leading the offense out there. I just do QB 10. So I think we'll see what happens, but I'd say that there's a better quarterback on this team right now. And Coach Houston has said that they're looking for a quarterback in the transfer portal. Don't know who they're going to get or where they're going to find him, but I mean, there's still that out there.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else? Chance, you have any thoughts?
The quarterback in the portal thing is just to have a guy in the locker room. You can never have too many scholarship quarterbacks. I mean, the third guy is Raheem Jeter. I mean, yeah, he's really good, but he's fresh. We're in the same boat when Mason was here. He's fresh. We don't want to run him out unless he just comes out and is just that good. There's no quarterback battle to me. No. He's just not. But there's no quarterback battle to me. Mason has it tough, though. I mean, week 1, got to go to the big house. I mean, there shouldn't be no expectations on Mason going into that game.
No.
You should just let the kid go out there. He could throw 5 interceptions, and then we're still going to hear it. But, I mean, Michigan's going to be tough. It's going to be packed, First game of the year, so of course everybody's going to be there. And you got to go to App. I mean, he's got unfair. Go ahead.
That may be the toughest non-conference game Michigan plays all year. Should be.
Yeah, they're chalk. They don't play anybody.
I mean, that's exactly what Mason needs, though, right? I mean, it's your first start. Your first start as a Division I college quarterback.
Legit start.
Yeah, but he started a game, right, in the COVID year?
He started the Navy game when Whole Nailers had his positive, which we broke before anybody else. So
that is true. I forgot about that. But legit start. Like, that's exactly – you want to be thrown to the fire. Throw him into the fire. Throw him against the best competition he's going to play all year. Let him, like Chan said, let him go out there. He's going to make mistakes. He's playing a great defense. The Michigan's going to be a good team. They're going to be a top 10 football team in the country. He's going to play a phenomenal defense.
At least going into week one, they will be.
Top 2, not 2. They might be top 2, not 2.
Right. I was honestly being nice. So, to be honest.
Up until week one, they will be.
You said what?
I said up until week one.
I know whatever the point spread is, you're giving me my Pirates plus points, though. I'm going to go ahead and tell you.
Yeah,
too many points.
It is a good test. I don't want to get too much. We'll do our season breakdowns and predictions. We'll probably do those during the summer where we give different predictions, and they're all different and based on the storylines going on at that point. But yeah, Mason Garcia is the quarterback. All right, we'll go to the PD question next. Is this the most overrated ECU baseball had? That's tough.
I'll start. They're not overrated. You've won 38 baseball games. Yeah. You're not overrated. We went through a 2-week bad stretch. We lost 7 games. I mean, come on, dude. You look at last year's team. Okay, we're on a 20-game winning streak, but we're almost in the same boat, right?
Yep.
I mean, I don't get it, people. I mean, people would die for 38 wins in a year. We've become very spoiled in baseball. People need to realize that baseball is a game of runs. You play bad, you lose. I mean, it's just that simple. You leave that. We left 34 runners on in the Campbell series compared to their 20, and we lose that series by a combined 3 runs. Come on. I'm tired of the overrated chance. Let the kids play. Dude, sick of it. It's terrible.
Yeah. The only thing that I'll say to that is, yes, you have 38 wins. The only issue is, how many do you have against the top 25? And if I'm remembering correctly, if I'm thinking correctly, 0? Is State in the top 25 now?
0, because no, State's not even getting into the ACC tournament at this point.
So that would be my only gripe is there was so much preseason hype around this team, and like, I don't know, that would be my only argument, saying that, okay, maybe it's slightly not overrated but over exaggerated how high we were going into the season. I mean, I say this all the time about other sports. I can't say that, I can't turn my cheek and say, oh no, it's great. Like, I mean, you've played great competition, but the games you've lost, you haven't beaten really anybody.
I mean, but you're looking at this point. Go ahead, Artie.
No, I mean, I was just gonna say there was points last season where we were talking about, like, this might be one of the worst ECU baseball clubs in recent memory. There was a point we came on this podcast and mentioned that before that 20-game win, and we were a few outs away from the dance. So when it was all said and done. So no, this is not an overrated ball club. Just like Chance said, I mean, 38 wins is 38 wins. I don't think it's an overrated ball club. I know no wins against the top 25 isn't great. I know not getting a single win against a very quality Campbell team is not great. But to say that this team's overrated, to say that everything's not still out in front of us the way we want to say that we can't go take it the way we want to, I don't agree with any of that nonsense.
Okay. And then he has a follow-up question. Any chance we can actually win a regional?
Yes, 100%. 100%. You know what? This team can win a lot of regionals, maybe other than Wake Forest.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like our chances.
Bullpen's deep. When you got a guy like Carter Cunningham batting in the 9-hole, I don't want to hear about no overrated chance. No, can this team do this? Top 25 this. We've been up and down, but we've had this team hasn't been healthy all year. Think about it. We got our stride going a little bit, and then JSC busts his balls literally, and we lose our best bat for a while. Catchers have both battled back injuries. Starling's out with a back injury. I mean, this team, we're going over the humps of college baseball, but who doesn't?
Yeah. All right. Last question. Friend of the podcast, Courtney Layton. She asks, Kane series predictions. Hurricanes start the Eastern Conference Finals tomorrow night, 8 p.m. inside PNC Arena. In the Final Four. They're in the Final Four. Give Chance. I know you like hockey. Do you want to take a stab at it? You said said a gentleman's sweep earlier.
Yeah,
gentleman's holding
sweep. That in 5. Yeah, in 5. I don't know much about hockey. It's fun to watch. I just know you hit somebody hard on the wall and you put the puck in the back of the net. That's all I know.
Who are they playing? The Florida Panthers?
They're playing the Florida Panthers, who were the 8th seed. And what would be the 8th seed?
Though. I mean, they've been
they play with house money. And 8 seed in the conference finals, they play with house money.
I mean, the thing with teams like that, I mean, we saw it a couple years ago. Tampa Bay, they set the record for most points in a season and got swept in round 1 by the Blue Jackets. Boston this year sets the record, most points in a season, and loses in 7 to Florida. Okay.
That was a choke job.
That was. I mean, Brad Marchand could have easily, I shouldn't say easily, Brad Marchand could have ended that series in Game 5. That game goes Game 6. Florida wins it. It's a crapshoot, goes to overtime, Game 7 in Boston, and the Panthers win. They're a gritty team. The only thing that really, I think at home, I saw something on Twitter. Somebody was saying, they like the Panthers. I was like, the only thing with the Panthers is I don't see them beating us twice at home. And I think the Hurricanes have put to bed they can't win on the road this playoffs. They put that to bed. They're 3-3 now on the road. So give me Canes in 6. Canes in 6. I think they win games 1 and 2, probably lose game 3, win game 4, and they'll win game 4, probably lose game 5, win game 6 in Florida, go on to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think that's good. I don't know if there's a team. I don't think Florida can hang with the Hurricanes with how much pressure they put on teams. That's the thing with the Hurricanes is they play what's called positionless hockey. Usually you have your defensemen cover the wingers, the wingers cover the defensemen, centers on centers. Boom. This isn't how the Hurricanes play. You have defensemen pinching below the net, which is not very common. They pressure the puck hard, win board battles. And while Florida is a great team, they got a lot of, Matthew Tkachuk is probably going to be the MVP this season. If not, it should be Connor McDavid, but Matthew Tkachuk has an argument for him. He's good. He's good. And he almost signed in Carolina. He almost got traded to Carolina in the offseason, but that didn't go through. Give me Canes in 6. I think that they match up well against anybody left, but the team that they probably match up the worst against is actually Florida. So I think whoever wins the Eastern Conference Finals, wins the Stanley Cup. The East is much better than the West. Vegas has had glimpses, but not that concerned about them. Dallas, I'm not as concerned about them. They play a slow style hockey, which the Hurricanes can shut that down real quick. It's a cakewalk for them, usually playing slow hockey. It's going to be a lot of dump and chase. So be ready for a lot of icings. Take a shot every time somebody ices the puck in the Eastern Conference Finals. You'll be drunk after probably the first 15 minutes. That's my prediction for the Eastern Conference Finals. Go Canes. Walk the plank. Y'all got one?
Yep.
I do. Chance, I'll let you go ahead.
The NBA draft lottery. Dude. You let the Spurs have their dynasty, right? They've had their shine. Give the Hornets the first pick, dude. We've missed it so many times.
Yeah.
Every time has been a superstar. Has been a superstar on the other end, man. And all I can think about is just Michael Kidd, Grill Kiss. Nightmare, dude. It's pain.
I couldn't agree. I couldn't agree with you more though. And I think the Spurs first, all of their number 1 picks have been Hall of Famers. So David Robinson, Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
So those are both first ballot Hall of Famers. So.
Actually, Artie, I know you have one. I'm gonna take another. I have another one because it follows similarly to the NBA draft lottery. The NHL draft lottery. What a shit show.
The Blackhawks don't deserve that, goddamn man.
The Blackhawks.
Nobody cares about what you think about the Blackhawks, Jared.
Here's the thing with the Blackhawks. Let's give it to a team that covered up a sexual assault in years. Only got fined $2 million. That's it. Covered up sexual assault for 10 years. Actively covered it up.
That I cannot argue.
And they should have honestly lost their draft pick. Their draft pick, their first round pick this year. They had the 3rd best odds to get the first overall pick. After their dynasty ends, Patrick Kane is done. Jonathan Tays isn't coming back. Their dynasty's over. It's been over, but the guys are gone. Their superstars are gone. They get what is considered one of the generational talents. We're talking possibly the best draft prospect since Connor McDavid.
He's so nasty. He's so good.
Connor Bedard is going to be the first overall pick, and he's going to have to go play for Chicago. Chicago got fined $2 million. $2 million. That was all it. And their coach got banned indefinitely, and their GM got banned indefinitely. That's it. That is it.
So I do have a question of this on the prospect. Put this to me in basketball terms. Is he like a LeBron James type of prospect? Is he this good?
He's probably I would say like a Steph Curry type.
That's still all-time great. That's still all-time.
Yeah.
I mean, in the NHL, when somebody is, I'll put it this way: in hockey, you have junior hockey in Canada, right? Think of it as prep basketball, right? Like what Bronny's playing.
Right.
These guys go, they have families that they live with, they move, they can get traded, they get paid at this level in Canada, they get paid. And it's like playing professional hockey, but it's considered junior.
That's the AHL, right?
No, he played in the Western Hockey League up in Canada, so like up in Alberta, British Columbia, like the Pacific Northwest. You have the OHL, QMJHL, and then you have the WHL. Never before had you had what they call I think it's a double age exception. Basically, you have to be 16 years old to play in this league, and you have to file to be like granted an exception to be in the league at a younger age. He lit the league on fire when he was 15 years old, playing against grown-ass men, playing against 18, 19-year-olds. He this year he set like scoring records in his draft year. Scored more than anybody's ever scored in the WHL. And so, I mean, he's a shooter. There's a story about him. Apparently he broke his right wrist. He's a right-handed shot, meaning the hand that's lower on the stick. Mm-hmm. He broke that wrist when he was like 12 years old. So he was just he practiced when he couldn't use that wrist. He just practiced one-handed shots with his left hand, the hand that is on the top of the stick. And so that wrist got so strong and kept practicing that. He has one of the strongest shots and some of the best hands and goal scoring ability. This guy, there's people talking that he may be a 100-point scorer his first year in the league. Like, to put that into perspective, the Hurricanes have had 100-point scorer since they moved to Carolina. In the history of the franchise, Eric Stahl is the only guy that's ever scored 100 points or more for the Hurricanes or Whalers in a single season. So, yeah, it's frustrating. He's going to score a lot. And, that's – once again, check out the Variety Sports Network Hockey Podcast where you can hear my voice talking more about hockey. I could talk about hockey all day long, just like I can talk about ECU.
The Metro.
Yeah. I thought he was going to go to Columbus. There for a little bit, I thought he was going to go to Columbus. But, hey, I mean, if the Metro is the best division in hockey. So, but Artie, you can have the floor. Your walk the plank.
Hey, yeah, my walk the plank, and everybody's heard it by now. Back to the NBA. It's Ja Morant. It's the ignorance and stupidity of Ja Morant. Was posted in another video, waving around a gun in a car. I guess with one of his home guys, one of his homeboys. The disappointing fact is that it feels like he doesn't get it. He feels like he doesn't really, and he's not surrounding himself with the right kind of people that will make him get it. So it's like a double whammy. It's like not only is he being dumb, but he's surrounded by dumb people. And playing in the NBA is a privilege, not a right, obviously. And nobody's saying he can't have his Second Amendment. Nobody's saying he can't have guns. I'm sure there's plenty of NBA players that own guns. The difference is they're not waving it around on IG Live like it's just a toy, like it's cool. He's got a platform. He's got certain things. He's got endorsements. He has certain things that he has to abide by when you have a privilege like making millions of dollars and playing basketball in the NBA. And I was on his side the first time around. I really thought he would kind of take people's advice, kind of listen to some of the old heads that got out to him, was chirping in his ear like, hey, look, you got an opportunity here to really represent and put on not only for yourself, for your family, for everybody else around you. So Ja Morant, second time doing this. He's been suspended from all team activities from Memphis. I don't know if any endorsements are going to get cut or anything like that's going to happen, but just hoping that he can actually get himself surrounded, most importantly, get surrounded by some people that can actually tell him, hey, you're being kind of stupid, right? Like, this is not something that is okay or normal behavior to do. So yeah, that would be my walk the plank. I'm not gonna sit here and preach on it too long. Ja Morant, just
my favorite thing about the whole Ja Morant thing is Ja Morant comes from a very well-off family in the suburbs.
He's not
went
a
to private school.
He's not a thug. I don't want people to think that Ja Morant is not a thug.
He's not. But he's out here. He's out here putting on a front like he is, and it's like, what are you doing? You got the whole world in front of you. Like, I don't even watch basketball, but I know that. So yeah, I agree, Artie. Good take. And I mean, there's plenty of guys that I think if he posted a video, maybe not in the NBA, if he posted a video of him at a shooting range,
right,
shooting his gun, that's one thing.
That's perfectly okay.
But when you're waving it around and not practicing like pistol safety,
or in a nightclub and you're waving it around, which is what he was doing in the first video, like, come on, man, like, what are we doing?
Like, come on. It's not like, if you're gonna have a gun, like, be safe with it. Like, I'm all for you having as whatever gun, any gun, however many you want. I'm all for that. Just don't be waving it around acting like you're about to fuck somebody up. Like, just don't do that.
And honestly, being the face of the franchise matters. You're not just a bench guy. You're not just another dude. You're the face of an entire franchise. That matters. You have to understand that. So
yeah. All right. Well, cool. Anything else? We've gone quite a bit. I don't have anything else. I got family that just came over to see the baby. So
y'all know no sad. Go back to your poppy duties.
All right. Well, make sure you subscribe on YouTube at Boneyard Podcast. Follow us on social media at Boneyard Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Yeah, and leave us a 5-star review. If you don't, you can walk the damn plank. If you do, you're the best friend of the podcast. Yeah, that's all I got. Artie?
Wash your hands, wash your butts, people. You know what it is. Till next week, Pirate Nation. Deuce.
Peace.